In 1977, NASA launched Voyager 2, an explorer destined to vanish into the abyss of interstellar space. For decades, it drifted silently, carrying humanity's golden record, our message to the unknown. But now, after 46 years, Voyager 2 has done something no one expected. It sent back a transmission. Not just data, not just numbers, but a signal that has experts whispering behind closed doors. A signal, some claim, is a warning. What could a spacecraft 12 billion miles from Earth possibly have discovered that terrifies scientists enough to remain silent? And why did the transmission end so suddenly, as if Voyager itself was cut off mid-message? Tonight, we follow that signal and uncover what Voyager 2 may have seen in the dark. For nearly half a century, Voyager 2 has been humanity's quiet sentinel, drifting farther than any machine before it. At over 12 billion miles from Earth, its faint heartbeat, a stream of radio pulses, reaches us only after traveling through the void for more than 18 hours. Every transmission is like a whisper carried across eternity. For decades, those whispers were predictable. Temperature readings, magnetic field data, the slow rhythm of a spacecraft growing older. But then, without warning, something changed. It began as static, a distortion so subtle that NASA engineers first dismissed it as interference. But buried within that noise was something else. Patterns, gaps, pulses that didn't belong. When technicians cleaned the signal, what emerged was chilling. Voyager wasn't just relaying routine measurements. It was broadcasting fragments, broken lines of code, repeated symbols, like the machine itself was trying to say something beyond its programmed capacity. And then came the silence. The spacecraft stopped transmitting altogether, as though whatever force touched it had severed its voice mid-sentence. Behind closed doors, analysts huddled over the fragments. They weren't random. Something or someone had altered Voyager's final breath. But the question wasn't how this happened. It was why, because when scientists pieced together the fragments, they realized Voyager wasn't describing itself. It was describing something else. What exactly was inside that strange, fragmented message? When Voyager 2's final fragments were decoded, they didn't look like ordinary telemetry. These weren't the neat columns of numbers engineers expected from a spacecraft. Instead, they looked deliberate. At first glance, the fragments resembled binary data, ones and zeros out of place. But the repetition caught their attention. Patterns, sequences that reset after a fixed interval. Almost like a rhythm, almost like language. One line, in particular, repeated 21 times before the transmission went dead. 21. A number without context, yet too exact to be random. NASA's official statement labeled it signal corruption. Yet off-record whispers told another story. Some engineers claimed the pattern resembled a countdown. Others saw it as a distress beacon, as though Voyager wasn't reporting a malfunction, but warning of something it had encountered. Even stranger, the signal bore no signature of deep space static. Normally, radiation from the interstellar medium would smear and distort the data, but this fragment was clean. Too clean. Almost as though the distortion wasn't natural at all. But engineered. What could reach across billions of miles, hijack a 46-year-old spacecraft, and use it to speak? And then the most unnerving discovery. When mapped visually, the fragments formed a wave-like structure, rising and falling like a pulse. Not numbers, not random noise, but something that eerily resembled a heartbeat. If Voyager was repeating this signal, then it wasn't alone out there. It had found something. But if the signal wasn't random static, who or what was it meant for? To understand Voyager 2's signal, we need to know where it came from. By the time of its final transmission, the probe was no longer inside the sun's protective bubble. It had crossed into the interstellar medium, a realm where our star's magnetic shield no longer reaches. Out here, the rules change, radiation swarms unchecked. Invisible magnetic fields twist and snap like cosmic whirlpools. And drifting through this void are objects we barely understand. Dark clouds of plasma, shockwaves from ancient supernova, even rogue planets wandering starless. Voyager had crossed the heliopause, the invisible wall separating our solar system from everything else. Beyond it lies an ocean of unknowns, a place where even light struggles to reveal the truth. And it was there, just beyond that border, that the signal appeared. Some theorists suggest Voyager stumbled upon a magnetic anomaly, a ripple of charged particles pressing against our solar system like a storm front. Others whisper of something more deliberate, a presence. A structure lurking at the edge, hidden from our telescopes but not from Voyager's fragile sensors. NASA's own data hinted at fluctuations, an energy surge far too localized to be random, almost as if something moved past the probe, something massive. And then came Voyager's last fragmented words. Encoded inside the broken transmission was a single terrifying implication. The disturbance wasn't spreading outward, it was moving inward. The last line of data Voyager sent hints at an approaching event. But one directed not at Voyager, at us. Officially, NASA brushed off Voyager 2's transmission as nothing more than signal interference. A convenient answer, clean, reassuring. But behind the scenes, not everyone agreed. Whispers began to surface, anonymous voices from inside the space agency. Retired engineers, former technicians, people who had seen the raw data before it was sealed away. They claimed that what Voyager sent back was far more than corrupted code. One account described entire transcripts of the transmission being classified within hours. Another spoke of redacted files, pages of decoded fragments blacked out before release. And then there were the chilling rumors that an internal memo referred to the signal not as telemetry, but as a warning of what no one dared say. Some insiders claimed the pulse resembled a distress beacon not aimed at Earth, but at something else in deep space. Others insisted NASA feared public panic, that the signal suggested an event was moving toward our planet, an event they couldn't explain or stop. Conspiracy forums erupted with theories. Voyager had intercepted an alien message. Or worse, it had been hijacked, forced to transmit something not of human origin. And yet the one detail that all leaks agreed on was this: the signal was intentionally buried. The public version scrubbed, sanitized, stripped of its most haunting details. Which leaves only one question: why? Why would scientists risk silence, unless the truth was too terrifying to admit? When the classified fragments of Voyager 2's signal are pieced together, one conclusion stands out. This wasn't a malfunction. It was a message. But the question is, what was it trying to say? The most grounded theory points to a cosmic shockwave, the kind born when a star explodes millions of years ago. Its energy drifting silently through the galaxy, until finally brushing against our solar system. If that's true, then Voyager wasn't breaking. It was alerting us to a storm we cannot see, but one that may already be on its way. Others whisper of a rogue planet, or even a wandering black hole. An invisible leviathan sliding between stars, too massive to ignore, too dark to detect until it's too late. Could Voyager have felt the tremor of its approach, like the vibration before an earthquake? And then comes the most unsettling theory of all, that the signal wasn't describing a natural phenomenon at all, but intelligence, a structure, a presence, something designed. The repeating pulse wasn't cosmic weather, it was intent, deliberate. The last recovered fragment only deepens the fear. a distorted sequence breaking off mid-transmission. When mapped and interpreted, some say it translated into a single word, not coordinates, not numbers, just one command: prepare. But prepare for what? After Voyager 2's last whisper, silence fell. No recovery. No renewed transmission. Just emptiness. The spacecraft, the farthest extension of human hands, drifted into the dark, mute and unreachable. Engineers tried re-establishing contact. Commands were sent. Adjustments made. But nothing came back. It was as if the probe had been swallowed whole, cut off mid-sentence. The warning ended before the story was finished. All we have left are fragments, broken patterns, data that suggests something at the edge of the solar system stirred and then vanished. The meaning slips through our fingers like smoke. Was it a natural anomaly? A galactic storm passing silently by? Or was it something more deliberate? Something that silenced Voyager before it could reveal too much? Some believe the signal wasn't even meant for Earth. That we were never the audience. That Voyager intercepted a message in transit. An echo exchanged between unknown entities in the void. If true, we weren't the target. We were the eavesdroppers. And that possibility carries its own dread. Because if Voyager heard something it wasn't supposed to, then maybe, just maybe, that's why it went silent. Almost as though it was shut off. Now Voyager 2 drifts, dark and voiceless, carrying its secrets into the abyss, and we are left to wonder. Did it try to warn us of what's coming? Or did we simply overhear a conversation we were never meant to hear? Maybe the warning wasn't meant for us at all. Maybe we were only listening in, and so Voyager 2 drifts, our farthest ambassador, silenced after sending what might be the most important transmission in human history. Was it a malfunction? A cosmic anomaly? Or a message, one we weren't supposed to hear? 46 years ago we launched it carrying the golden record. But perhaps in return, the universe has given us a record of its own, a final cryptic echo. If Voyager truly warned us, then the question isn't what did it see, it's when will we see it too? What do you believe Voyager 2 discovered before it went dark?